Hello everyone, welcome to Best of Us Investors. We as a tribe are gathering in the Discord server, where we share Carrie's portfolio, Carrie's buy and sells in real time, and we have live discussions every Mondays before the market opens and right after the market closes on Fridays in our voice channels in the Discord server. And of course, we share insights on stocks before the videos are released. The stock analysis team also analyzes stocks based on the votes from the tribe members. So hope to see you all in the Discord, where the link is listed in the description to join. We would also appreciate if you can subscribe and hit the like button, which will help our stock analysis videos. Now let's get started with our stock for this week. Today we'll be talking about a 3D printing company that Elon Musk's SpaceX wanted to acquire but got rejected, which brought Jaws Spitfire Acquisition Corporation an opportunity to take this company public through a SPAC merger, which just got completed September 29th. The company is Velo3D, ticker symbol VLD. Velo3D has a full-stack 3D metal printing solution that enables production of critical components for space rocket jet engines, fuel delivery systems, heat exchangers, power turbines, and other high-value metal parts with better performance, faster speed, lower cost than traditional methods, and is also able to 3D print metal in very difficult geometric forms and shapes no other company can produce. One of their major unique technology is the support-free 3D printing solution. So as you can see here, in a traditional 3D printing process, when there is a hole or a hollow space, the printer cannot just print on top of empty space, especially when it is something heavy like metal. Also, when 3D printing metal, you melt the material and wait for it to cool down, and during this process it easily breaks open or bends, as you can see here. So usually you need something called support to make this possible and stabilize the product to make the outcome as detailed as you designed originally. But once the product is made, you will need to remove the support, since this was a place that should have been empty or hollow, and this process is pretty complicated. The problem with the support is that it requires extra time, extra cost, and also can't get into the complexity that the company wishes to get in their parts. Now, Velo3D has a unique and game-changing support-free 3D printing solution where you can now produce the products without a support and also make it possible to create very complicated pieces as well. And this is through their Sapphire machine, which combines the Velo3D software platform where they design the infrastructure, and they have the Sapphire machine that actually 3D prints the product, and the Assure monitoring system where it has 920 different sensors built to process monitoring to make the product accurate with less errors as possible. This is an amazing technology in the 3D printing space with 48 patents that are protected, making this company unique, and is maybe why Elon Musk's SpaceX wanted to buy them out. However, Velo3D refused their offer, but SpaceX is now their biggest customer, being involved in building their Raptor engines, which in my opinion is a game-changing engine in the rocket industry. So Velo3D's technology is critical, if not the only technology that can build parts for the Raptor engine, where 3 years after purchasing their first Velo3D 3D printer, SpaceX has now bought 22 of them. And the head of additive manufacturing at SpaceX believes that Velo3D is at least 5 years ahead of any competition, of which there are many. Being innovative, Cathie Wood's ARK Invest has bought 800,000 shares as soon as the merger was announced, and even bought 33 million worth of shares right after the merger was completed. The company is also backed by Ron Barron's company, Barron Capital Group, one of the Tesla's original backers, Social Capital Hedosophia, where you have Chamath Palihapitiya, and other well-known investors, including Cathie Wood's ARK Invest. If you look at their partnership, their biggest customer at this point, of course, is SpaceX. Then they have Astra, Lockheed Martin in the aerospace. They are partners with Honeywell, Raytheon, Triumph Group for aviation defense, Siemens, ConocoPhillips, Mitsubishi in the energy sector, and Honda, Stratasys, and more, as you can see on this slide. Velo3D's growth strategy will focus on the high-volume metal parts that only its support-free metal 3D printing technology can produce, with high-volume Sapphire XC 3D printer set to ship in Q4 2021. The company estimates the total addressable market to stand over $100 billion. Now, a major risk would be that a very large portion of the revenue, 30 to 70%, is from a single customer, which is SpaceX. But I think the reason that SpaceX even wanted to buy this company out is because they cannot replace the technology that Velo3D has. Another major risk is that this company is in its very, very early stage. So although I think the technology that Velo3D has is really cool, I think it would be a good idea to keep an eye on this company to follow up their earning calls and see if they project what they have planned to do. So now that we've got an overview of Velo3D, let's share some insights.
Through my research, they have the strongest IP portfolio in metal manufacturing, 91 patent applications, 48 granted patents. And to me, I mean, looking at some of the comments from Peter Thiel, the best business to be in is something that's a monopoly or close to a monopoly. And right now in the additive manufacturing space, Velo's able to do things that apparently no one else is able to do, unless in time they're able to create some kind of a workaround to Velo's patents. So until that happens, when it comes to additive manufacturing in metals, it seems like it's about as close to a monopoly as you're going to get. Now, their biggest client, being SpaceX, is what really attracts me to this most. If it's good enough for Elon, it's good enough for me. And I really believe that fully developing SpaceX, fully accomplishing his mission of building a fleet of rockets that are going to be able to make Mars possible, he's determined to accomplish this. And if he's determined to accomplish it, he's going to accomplish it. And Velo3D is a big part of his vision.
So do you know, are they buying the Sapphire and they're manufacturing themselves? Because that's kind of what, from my understanding, Velo3D does, is they make the machine that does the 3D printing, and they'll either sell it to a company like SpaceX and then advise them, or they have contract manufacturers that you can go to that use the Velo3D system and manufacture with them.
They have both of those options in their business model. Now, SpaceX is buying the machines from them and then doing it all themselves.
So part of their revenue source, from my understanding, is recurring revenue of supporting those machines, correct?
Correct.
It's fascinating to me because I started my career as an aerospace engineer in procurement, and especially machine parts for rockets, rocket motors, things like that. So I know that normally you go through a prototyping situation, a first article inspection, then you order 5 parts, and they're very expensive. And if you make one mistake in a machining process, which is easy to do, it could scrap the whole thing. So the quality aspect of 3D printing these parts intrigues me a lot. This company just completed its business combination with the SPAC this week, and basically it's valued at $1.6 billion, and the company will receive about $470-500 million in cash to run its operations. And then there were some redemptions this week. Can you talk to a little bit about those redemptions and what that means?
Well, redemptions, whenever there's a SPAC, people that invested in it initially have the ability to redeem their shares, get back the $10 a share that they paid. I think there was like 18 million shares in redemptions. That's like $180 million that people did decide to redeem those shares. Now, you could look at that like them not being confident in the company, or it could be with how so many SPACs, after they merge, they go down. I mean, you could redeem your shares and then have bought back in at $8 a share and created a 20% savings on your investment. Beyond the fact that I know from reports that 18 million shares were redeemed. So I don't think they got that full 500 million that you mentioned. I think after that, it'd be more like 300 million.
It's hard to do the financials on it from my point of view because there are none yet. But if you can go to investor presentations, you can see kind of where they were at. In 2018, they made $2 million in revenue. 2019, 15 million. 2020, 19 million. 2021, they expect 26 million. All the way out to 2026, they're thinking $937 million of revenue. But if you look at their EBITDA, they don't look to be profitable in their EBITDA until 2023. So if you do invest in Velo3D, it might be a while before you see profitability. Would you agree with that, James?
Yes, I would.
So, I mean, you're investing in the future and might be investing a little bit of time to get there. If their projections are correct, the economy goes the way it should go, and if space travel, kicks off and Elon is successful. So just be aware of that. And also also be aware that, SPACs have, several layers of investors in the SPAC. You've got the original investors in Velo, you've got the SPAC investors, and then you got the PIPE investors. And it's like any other SPAC, these guys want their money back. And so it always seems to be the retail investor that is the bag holder at some time. So just be careful and aware of that also. I've been kind of waiting to look at 3D. I haven't invested in 3D as of yet until this opportunity came up. So I'll probably do a small amount of investing in Velo as a long-term investment. I'm going to put it in the vault and just let it sit for a while. The technology is pretty interesting to me. I don't expect it to be profitable in the next several years. So price is going to be, based on press releases. I think you'll see, the price go up, price go down on your stock. But for the long term, I think it's probable that they're going to be successful. So you can either wait and see when they're successful, or you can get in a little early now and see how it goes. That's kind of my view on it. What's your thoughts on this? You're the youngest of the group here, so I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are.
First off, it's a SPAC. You'd expect some kind of share dilution in the future, but now with like half of their original cash position being gone, I have fears of stronger share dilutions in the future that if you would buy in now could drastically screw you over as an investor. I looked at how the competitors compare. And they have a list of competitors. However, what distinguishes them from their competition is that they use a method of 3D printing, allowing for a level of flexibility more than 3 times greater than the industry standard when printing. And, their technology is also great in many other ways. But what truly distinguishes Velo 3D from their competition is that they found a way working with this method that has greatly decrease the amount of constraints companies in this industry have to face. Whilst companies like 3D Systems, who use the same technology, have offered geometrical freedom down to 35 degrees on a small titanium or aluminium surface, and down to 60 degrees on a big stainless steel surface, Velo 3D is offering companies the freedom to create the most intricate geometrical structures down to 10 degrees and sometimes even below that with the use of specific process conditions. Such freedom is practically unheard of in the industry, and that's what differentiates them from their competition like 3D Systems or Desktop Metal is their flexibility and freedom of producing these intricate designs. That's also why SpaceX head of additive manufacturing supposedly said that the company was at least 5 years ahead of any competition, and why Elon Musk supposedly wanted to buy the company.